Hello everyone, my name is Kaisel, and I love turning boring things into something magical with a little polymer clay, some epoxy resin, and the amazing help of my companions. Today, our journey takes us back to the island of Berg, where Vikings once lived in harmony with dragons. But war always finds a way. This time, it arrives with the roar of a giant Bewilderbeast, a dragon controlled by the ruthless Drago. Before I build anything, I always start with a sketch. To me, it's like a map one that leads straight into the heart of the story. This is the moment when Drago brings his monstrous Bewilderbeast to Berg, a living weapon, scarred and chained, marching towards the island with destruction in its eyes. But just as the first roar shakes the ice, another call echoes through the sky. From the clouds, Valka arrives, riding her own Bewilderbeast, a majestic white guardian, summoned not by contro, but by trust. Two titans face each other, one born from cruelty, the other raised in compassion. And right here, the battle for the soul of the dragons begins. So I try to capture that moment, in lines, in color, in every brushstroke. Because this is more than just a fight, it's the clash of two worlds, one of fear and one of freedom. Before sculpting begins, I need a base to hold everything in place, a simple stand to support the aluminum armature. This skeleton will shape the body of the dragon. There's really no better choice than foil and wire to bulk out the form. Once I'm happy with the basic shape, I place it on the stand and begin adding clay. Many of you have asked me, what kind of clay is this? It's polymer clay, a special material that hardens like plastic when baked at high temperatures, around 200 degrees Celsius for 15-20 minutes. For this piece, I wanted to go beyond just a sculpture, so I added LEDs to the eyes, the mouth, and the chest. Because I wanted this Bewilderbeast to glow as it roars, just like in the movie. Wires are hidden under layers of clay, and once the whole body is covered, the real sculpting begins. I start with the head using a custom tool I designed myself, a roller specifically made for dragon skin textures. Tiny spikes around the mouth are carefully added one by one. This is Valka's Bewilderbeast, inspired by a polar bear. Its white color and smooth coral-like skin represent pride, nobility, the true king of dragons, a protector, a symbol of peace. If you've seen my previous video, you might remember the Bewilderbeast I made for Drago. It's much darker, rougher, with chains on its horns, used to pull ships like a war machine. Valka's dragon is different, summoned not by control, but by a bond of trust. There are no shackles here, just the grace of a king. Next, I sculpt the feet. Each claw is cut at a 45-degree angle to fit perfectly onto the toes. I also add webbing underneath, since the Bewilderbeast can swim these fins, help it move through water. Now for the wings, strong ridges, sharp spines. I press them directly onto the body, no glue needed. Just blend the clay until the seams disappear. Finally, I shape the long tail fins running from the end of the tail all the way up to the wings. I blend the edges until everything feels like one seamless creature. A few more spines on the back and Valka's Bewilderbeast is complete. And here's Drago's version. If you'd like to see how I sculpted it, you can find the full video on my channel. Now let's talk paint. I start with Drago's Bewilderbeast, the War Machine. Its body is painted in a dark, rough gray. I cover the entire surface in black paint, and while it's still wet, I dab it gently with tissue to create a blotchy, weathered texture. Then I flick tiny white specks across the body using a stiff brush. A light mist of gray paint follows, applied with an airbrush. For the spots on its skin, I mix gray with a hint of green and paint each one carefully by hand. Next, I spray a layer of earthy orange onto the ridges of the mane, the spines along the back, the wings, and the legs. While the paint dries, I color the horns in ivory white, and the shackles on its head in dark, metallic, gray old, heavy, and cruel. I add one more layer of reddish orange to the sharpest tips of every detail to bring out the rage in its form. Then eyes and teeth, and the beast is done. Now, it's time to paint Valka's dragon and prepare for the most exciting part, the diorama where these two kings finally meet. Every battle needs a battlefield. And for this one, I divided the scene into 3 parts: mountain, shoreline, and sea. Then I carved a gentle slope at the edge to shape the sea floor, letting it dip downward naturally. For the mountain, I stacked large foam blocks together, creating different elevations and jagged shapes. Then used a hot wire cutter toe, sculpt the forms into something that felt ancient. To give the mountain a rocky texture, I coated it with a layer of plaster. Once dry, it becomes easy to carve. And then the terrain began to take form. A layer of golden sand covered the sea floor, while white quartz sand marked the shore. To hold everything in place, I sealed it with a simple spray of hairspray. With a stiff brush, I dry brushed highlights across the mountain, bringing out the sharp edges and deep crevices. I placed the 2 Bewilderbeasts onto the scene for a test fitting. Turning the base around, I noticed something. This battlefield felt too small, too narrow for 2 kings, so I tore away the old sea and replaced it with a new, larger piece of foam. The sea stretched twice as wide, giving the dragons the space they deserved. More cliffs were added, more plaster, more stone. And now, it started to feel real. sprinkled bits of grass here and there, fixing it in place with white glue and a static grass applicator. Finally, I wanted snow to echo the frozen power of Valka's dragon. I mixed baking soda with white glue and brushed it gently across the rocky slopes. Then dusted another layer of dry soda on top to make it fluffy like fresh, untouched snow. Now, the battlefield is ready. The story can begin. To bring this scene to life, light was the final magic I needed. I printed dozens of sharp ice shards using my 3D printer. Each one is translucent, able to catch the light and glow from within. I use an airbrush to softly tint them with color, letting the tips fade into a cold blue hue. Then, I began wiring the LED system, placing each light exactly where I wanted the ice to shine. Once the LEDs were fixed, I mounted the ice shards directly on top, then soldered the wires and sealed the circuit. Next came the Viking ships. I printed them in different sizes to create depth, then made sails from cardstock and added tiny rigging ropes using thread. Some ships were large, others barely a few centimeters, but together they built a sense of scale. Once painted, I placed them into the scene, ready to face whatever storm was coming. Then came the army. I might have used over 200 tiny Viking warriors to line the beaches, each one glued in place, each one facing the incoming threat. I mounted the ships on clear rods so they would appear to float on the sea, waiting for the final touch: resin. But before pouring it, I filled the sky and cliffs with dragons. Tiny dragons perched on ice spires, gliding between the peaks, and if you look closely, you might spot Hiccup, Toothless, and the rest of the gang hidden among them. Now it was time for the sea. I built a mold using clear acrylic sheets, then placed the entire diorama inside. I mixed crystal clear resin with just a hint of light blue, stirred it slowly, and poured it over the ocean floor, letting it flood the entire sea. After the resin cured, I removed the mold and started creating the surface. Using a product called Mod Podge, I sprayed a thin layer across the water with my airbrush. As it dried, it became clear, forming gentle ripples that caught the light beautifully. And with that, the diorama was complete. A frozen battlefield between two kings. a story of power, of choice, and of the dragons who once ruled the skies. I hope this video reaches those who love how to train your dragon, who admire the mighty Bewilderbeast, or who simply enjoy the art of handmade dioramas. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the journey, please like and share the video, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you won't miss the next one. Until then, I'm Kaisol, and I'll see you in the next adventure.